time. Cincinnati, we gon' rise and up. In the jungle, we unite and up. Trippin' orange and black and white. All day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Now who gotta move, rockin' on? Now who wanna move, tossing on? Now who wanna move out on? If you got stripes, then you let the city know you rock 'em. Yeah, we got 'em, yeah, we fought 'em. Like that black and orange up on 'em. Bingo bottle, never stop it. To the beast and on 'em. Who they rockin' with the diamond stripes, flossing on the ring. Cincinnati, she's our queen. We gon' show the world who king. Orange in the day, black in the night. Stripes in our...
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Bengals Brews. I am Houday Joe. With me are my lovely co-hosts, Derek Davis, a.k.a. Orange Can Titty Guy. And we also have my other co-host, Pork Chop, a.k.a. Mr. Four Loco. And former co-host, our wonderful guest, Mr. Travis from the Bird Up podcast. How are we, gentlemen?
Oh, we're fucking electric. Oh, God, it's great to see your guys' faces. I tell you what.
It's great to
Pork, I've never been on a full episode with you yet. I jumped in to talk shit about the helmets with you because the taste was just killing me. So I'm excited to have a whole episode with you here.
I'm pretty stoked, too. As a matter of fact, that's why I'm sitting down. If I stand up, the show's going to go rated R.
Hell yeah.
That's how excited I am.
I'd ask you what you were drinking, Travis, but I just saw getting the fireball to get things rolling. And I just saw in the background, we have the very talented, the very intelligent, the wonderful Joe Goodberry.
Oh, here's the brains of the operation. Here we go.
That's a nice hat you got on, Joe. How are you?
Oh, that's a nice hat you have, Joe.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for noticing.
That's a nice hat I got, too. But my hat, Joe, is on the way. I thought maybe you could pull some strings and get it special delivered while we're on the show here, and I will put it on.
Well, they're all in Cincinnati, so well, except for a few I have for giveaways.
I'm in Cincinnati. I ordered the thing. Where's it at?
Usually they're pretty quick. I don't know.
God dang it.
Look, dude, 7 to 10 business days. We got to tell all the customers that. You guys just got to relax. We'll get it to you. Lord have mercy.
Hey, the way my luck goes, they're going to my Ring doorbell is going to go off right when we end the show.
And look at this. Me and Derek showing both your SKUs. If you guys haven't seen these on the underside of the brim, they're super awesome. I'm really happy with this.
I think Travis is looking. You didn't see it. It's not.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's
Dome
awesome.
hats is who makes them. Dome headwear. Find them on Twitter. They can do anything. So
you better get one before it's gone, Travis.
And they will do anything. And if you don't have one yet, Rivertown Inquiry in Cincinnati is where you can find them.
Yep. I will.
Well, for plugging hats, man. Oldschoolhats.com. Get all your boogered up hats, dude. Get
there
your
it is.
I Heart Mommy Milkers, your mommy issues, your boogered hat, your beer bitch, your bourbon bandit.
Hey, that bourbon bandit sounds right up my alley.
Are these all different fireworks?
Blue. So I love this one just because it's black and white and it's really nice for all outfits. And I love the old English font, but the blue, the bourbon bandit's like a teal blue with white rope on it, and it is the most gorgeous hat. We had to give it away for a giveaway. We're waiting for some more to come in, but I can't wait to get that damn hat.
So what do you guys want to talk about?
Yeah, so go ahead.
I want to say first things first. I want to know, what's everybody sipping on?
Oh shit!
Come on, Joe.
For love.
I do have a little in my Xbox fridge over here. Hang on.
Mike Zero, man. It's a hot ass fucking day out, man. I'm sipping on some lemonade.
All right.
Joe, what you got over there?
Not quite lemonade, but along those lines, I have a summer shandy.
Leinenkugel.
Leinenkugel.
Joe, you're a Rheingeist guy. Did you try that lemonade they got?
No, I haven't seen it. I've looked around. The only things I get in Columbus are the what's the pale ale?
A little bit.
Truth. The Rheingeist I see is Truth and Cheetah. That's like the only ones I ever see up here.
Did you walk across the street, Joe, and get that from your Canadian neighbor?
I could. If we were at the different window, you could see Canada.
Yeah.
Travis, what you got?
I've got a mountain of blues over here. I've actually got 3 different beers in the house because I was doing some stuff, and then I almost brought. I still have, and you guys got to help me with the brand. I still have the Bills and the Bengals beer that we got way back. I
Yes.
still have a can of that, and I almost poured that and started drinking that today.
What's the name? Who's got it?
That is
I don't have it.
it's killing me.
We
They
had it
also
on the
make-
show.
They also
We did,
make
yes.
the one for the Lineman Academy.
Yeah, Goal Line Masterminds.
Yeah.
Do I have to go get the beer?
Yes,
You might
probably.
have to now.
They're out of Dallas.
There. Yep.
The name is
They're out of Dallas, and they made a Cincinnati.
All right,
Sledge
hold on,
Buffalo
hold on.
beer.
Yep, he's gonna go get it. He's gonna go get it.
And it's a good name too. That's why.
Is
It's,
it Fiddlehead?
no.
Not Fiddlehead.
Well, it's the first time I've had my Reds helmet over here in the background.
Nice.
That's from the Field of Dreams game.
The creator's
awesome.
name, his name is Brian.
Yes.
We have
I'm
all the
getting
details, but the name of the,
What's the
brewing
name of the
company.
beer?
Yeah.
Brian Burton.
You're not
is the guy.
cheating with Google or anything.
His
either.
name is
I
Hop
cheated.
and Sting.
I tried to
Brewery.
cheat. I
Hop
still didn't
and
get-
Sting.
Got
What is
it.
Hop and Sting Brewery.
Hop and Sting Brewery.
Yeah. I got it before Travis got back.
There you go.
I just get down here.
Oh shit.
Hop
at
and
those
Sting,
bad boys.
awesome.
Those are beautiful too.
That is
Those
awesome.
are really cool looking.
I left 2 of them in the fridge, cold, and they're just sitting in the fridge waiting for
Perfect.
special time. And I
Bills
was like,
and Bengals.
yeah, dude, this
Crack 'em.
can is, dude.
Yeah, that's awesome. When
Speaking
Glenn comes
of-
on, crack them both. Stone Cold Steve Austin. Both
There you
of them.
go.
We need to embrace the Zubaz, man. I mean, it's Tiger Stripes.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
is,
come on.
Absolutely.
I
I
was
There's
wear
a lot of
Zubaz.
Zubaz action going on.
I was in high school when Zubaz was an actual thing
Huh?
when it first came
Mhm.
out.
And it's time to bring it back.
They're
Yep,
they're bringing
absolutely.
everything else back from when I was a kid.
The next underbrim will be Zubaz. Nobody steal it.
There you go.
Awesome.
Nobody's
Take my
Uh,
money now, Joe.
Nobody steal it.
So one topic I know we've talked about, the 3 of us have talked on the show already about, but wanted to get your guys' take. There
If
was
you guys
the-
tweet a link, I should retweet it. I'm a jerk.
Oh, you're right. The Corey Dillon interview in The Athletic. Anyone that is watching and didn't read about it, he used some very blunt language that he thinks he belongs in the Ring of Honor, and used some choice language. And some fans didn't take that too well. And now he's kind of been making the rounds on podcasts, and it's like, hey, I love the Bengals fans, and kind of walking it back a little bit. But Travis, we'll start with you. What was your take on the interview first, and now hearing him talk?
I saw a little bit of bits and pieces of it, but I'm curious to know your level of like how crazy the language was, because I didn't get to see how crazy it was. Like, what was the craziness that it went in the future?
It was more so. Was it Paul Daner? Help me out, Paul.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yes,
it was
it was
Paul
Paul
Daner.
Daner
Originally.
of the
So
Athletic.
Paul Daner teased it with the quote of, "Write down every fucking word."
Yeah.
That was the tone
That
of
was-
it.
And he did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm pretty young, and it seems that come up every single time we're on the podcast. But growing up, the way that I did, seeing the story, because I really wasn't necessarily here in a sense, like able to follow with all my heart. Man, I believe so. I think he's the best running back that we've had, that I've seen, that I've heard of. I think he's the best running back that we've had. And whenever I thought of running back for the Bengals back in the day, all the way from like, I don't know, it was old video games I was playing with Corey Dillon as a running back. It was one of those people in the stripes that you think of, like the uniform. Like, what do you think of? He's one of the, I would say one of the top 5 for me that would come to my head immediately. Like, even besides all the people, like Ray Malug is another one for me. I love Ray.
Yeah.
So Corey definitely, in my opinion, should be there. Now, whether or not he wants to jump over every top of everybody and just be like, it should be this year for me, and like I should already be in it, it's a little crazy to me. But I mean, if you think you got it, you got it. There's a whole thing going on right now on Twitter, I believe it is, with like top cornerbacks in the NFL in the past and present. And like Darrelle Revis is going absolutely bonkers on people on social media right now about it. So I mean, you're going to have these arguments left and right if who's better.
Yeah, and he just, I think, the comment that a lot of people were holding on to was in the article was, I mean, I'll probably never get in. John Kitna and Scott Mitchell will probably get in before I do, and everyone's like, "Damn, all right."
I did see a lot of stuff. Was there? And this is me not being that intelligent when it comes to this. Was there a lot of negativity when it came for him leaving Cincinnati?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. There was a lot. I think there was a holdout at one point. He in his last game, he threw his shoulder pads into the crowd, not in a nice way. Basically like a big FU to Cincinnati. So he did not leave on good terms, and then he went to the Patriots, had an amazing season, won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, Travis, sometimes when we see those luscious locks and that gorgeous beard, we forget how young you really are.
Yeah, it's good. No, it's the face. The post office did that to me where I look like I'm 35, 36, but I'm really only 26. It just ages you very fast.
Yeah. Damn, I got fucking kids older than you.
Now before you chime in, Joe, I did see the clip that Ace and Zim had, where he specifically addressed that comment. Was like, hey, like, that's my sense of humor. I'm just joking around. Like, I'm sorry if you don't like my sense of humor. I didn't, mean it any sort of way, and definitely didn't mean to disrespect those guys. Which I believed him. But anyway, Joe, what's your take on the whole situation?
Yeah, I believe him too, in terms of he always looks grumpy and sounds kind of grumpy, and all of his quotes always looked grumpy, and he also went on to talk about how the players really disliked playing in Cincinnati at the time he was there. I mean, for obvious reasons. Yeah. And he was the face of it, and he felt like he was the representative of it, and him getting out was a win, for him. And like, I get it. We all get it now because we can talk about it now freely. Like, yeah, it sucked. It took him a long time to figure this shit out. And, we've been there, we've experienced it, and from the fan side of things. But Corey Dillon himself is and was my favorite player growing up. He was, like Travis said, when I was playing Blitz in '98, and it's Jeff Blake and Darnay Scott and Carl Pickens and Corey Dillon. I mean, the offense was just crazy good. You can go 16-0 with that squad. But then all the way into the early Maddens of the early 2000s, and he was just the best player on the team, and he was so fun to play with because not only was he 230 pounds, but he could break away long runs. And, it's just not something that blend of size and speed I thought would be matched by Joe Mixon in his career. And we'll see how that ends. But, speaking of, we might have Joe Mixon news in the next 48 hours or so. We'll see about that.
Yeah.
But
what happened? Oh, shit.
What?
48 hours?
There be Joe Mixon news.
Yeah, we'll probably get some Joe Mixon news over the weekend, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And so we'll see how that goes. He's still going to have time here. He's not gone. So we'll just see, how many more. He needs 1,039 yards or something to become second overall in rushing from Bengals history.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I just mentioned Mixon because I thought he could be the Corey Dillon of this era. And, it's a different game.
How many 1,000-yard rushing seasons does he have?
6.
I was gonna say
Joe Mixon. I mean, he's got
Mixon.
4.
Is it 4? I thought it was 4. I
think
know
it's 4.
total yards he's got
last year he
6,
didn't hit it.
But yeah.
But I was going to say I have created a list of the top Bengals of all time, and I spent a lot of time on this trying to take in all information that I could. This was sparked from me doing the longest plays series and watching a lot of old games and old highlights, and I'll just be stuck watching Lamar Parrish because I'm like, oh my God, I did not appreciate what the old guys were telling me when they were like, oh, this guy was like Dion before Dion. And then I'm just stuck watching him because he is. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to watch more and watch more. So I was like, all right, let me try and rank these guys and figure it out. And I wanted to incorporate how they left and how long they played in Cincinnati, because those are both like how your legacy sometimes carries and goes with you. And I think that's part of what Corey's fighting, because if you would have asked that a year before he left, it would have been like, oh, he might be a top 5 Bengal of all time and easily the best running back of all time. But now there's some people that would say, yeah, James Brooks might still be the best running back of all time for the Bengals. And Well, the way it shakes out for me, and it does try to take in positional value into account, Corey Dillon ends up number 13 overall on the Bengals legacy board. It's like, who is the greatest Bengal? And because he left, because he won his Super Bowl with another team, because he even had a tremendous don't discredit that year with the Patriots, where he had like 16 touchdowns and 1,600 yards. I mean, that's probably what he should have been every year with the Bengals if they had any talent around him, and he would be a slam dunk Hall of Famer. So maybe that's part of his gripe is like, my numbers are excellent now, but they should have been even crazier if there was any type of passing game for half of that. And he's probably right. But I still think he'll get on the Ring of Honor, and it's probably 2 to 4 years away if they keep going at 2 players per year.
On your rankings, is he the first running back?
He's nice. James Brooks is the one, one spot ahead of him. They are almost neck and neck. It's like it could have been any other way if Dillon had one more year.
Did you include current players?
No, so no current players. Even Andy Dalton, because he's still active, is not on the list. Because, hey, what if Andy Dalton has a Boomer Esiason comeback, backup quarterback, and helps them win a playoff game? That really changes what we would think of Andy Dalton. So I kept even those guys off the list.
Yeah.
So speaking on the list, how many years do you think before some of these newer guys that are just recently retired or considering retirement, and Gino, I mean, is he officially retired or not?
I don't even actually know if he is or not.
So.
Yeah. But how many years do you think before they start inserting some of those guys onto?
Well, if it's like the Pro Football Hall of Fame, it's got to be 5 years since retirement. So I wouldn't be surprised if they use that or maybe try to push it to 10 until they finish this backlog, because you've got AJ Green, Geno Atkins, Andrew Whitworth that should be first ballot guys, in my opinion, if we were all caught up and everything was even. So we'll see.
AJ wasn't on the ballot.
Right. He was already on the ballot.
No, I said he was not on the ballot.
Okay, right. Because he just retired. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. We'll know in 5 years, I guess, because those guys are all just retiring now at the same time. That'll be a fun couple of years as they get in there.
Yeah. One more thing on Corey Dillon. I want to get Pork Chop's take since hearing him more, because me and Pork Chop, when the article first came out and before Corey Dillon actually spoke verbally, publicly, I was very much more of the screw this guy. I didn't like the way he left. I have a very hard time separating off the field stuff, and he had multiple domestic violence allegations and arrests, and that's a very hard thing for me to just put aside as a player. Bar none for me. He's the best Bengals running back of all time. I grew up watching him and was in total awe. And like what Joe said, I mean, he had nothing around him. Very, very similar to how a lot of Barry Sanders' career was, where he had nothing around him and was still incredible. And it was just kind of like, dude, you have an image problem either with the Bengals organization and or some of the fan base, and you're mad about being in the Ring of Honor. This isn't doing you any favors, dude. And I just didn't like the way he handled it. Now, I do appreciate that he is trying to make an effort to somewhat extend an olive branch. Every time I hear him talk, he seems genuine, but like you said, Joe, he just comes across as, he's just kind of a grumpy guy, and he says what he wants to say, and he doesn't try to frame anything in a proper way.
He's got that dick energy, not that big dick energy, but
it's just and in that way, I do respect that. It's just hey, I'm gonna be who I am, like it or don't, and I do respect that a little bit. So I have cooled my screw Corey Dillon take, and if he's put in the Ring of Honor, I'll stand up and applaud him for what he did on the field. So that's kind of where I'm at. Pork Chop, you were much more F this guy.
Yeah.
Corey Dillon. Have you changed your mind at all?
I'd like to be pushed over to the other side. I would like to love Corey Dillon because I'm old as fuck, man. I'm 51. So back in the day, Corey Dillon was a good reason to watch the Bengals. He was a fucking beast, man. He was awesome. I loved Corey Dillon. If we're getting, if it's by accolades only, Corey Dillon is in the Ring of Honor. He's in the Hall of Fame. You know what I mean? But the problem is it's a popularity contest, and the season ticket holders are the ones that vote for the Ring of Honor. And he basically in his article said that the season ticket holders don't know what they're doing and they can't get it right. So we're going to put in John Kitna before him. So, I mean, I don't know. Does that make me go, no, you're wrong, Corey Dillon. I'm going to put you in. No.
Right.
Makes me think, man, what a fucking dickhead.
Right.
You know, coming right at me saying I don't know what the fuck I'm doing because I voted for Chad Johnson and Lamar Parrish.
Right.
You know, does Corey Dillon get in the Ring of Honor? Sure he does, but wait your fucking turn, buddy. And in the meantime, try to win some votes. And as far as him going on podcasts and trying to do whatever he's doing, he's trying to save face. You know why? Because he sat on what he said for 24 hours. He read Twitter comments or whatever, and he went, damn.
Yeah.
I really fucked up there.
Yep.
I wanted to get in that Ring of Honor because I'm Corey Dillon and I'm sitting in my fucking house and I ain't doing shit.
Yep.
Not a goddamn thing. Nobody's said my name forever. So I want to get in the Ring of Honor because also that you get in the Ring of Honor, that's also the first step into getting possibly in the Hall of Fame.
We saw it with Ken Riley.
Yeah, he's out there. He's probably, you know, so he's going. I mean, you send him a link right now. It'll probably pop on our podcast. He's a fucking podcast whore right now because he's backtracking. You know what I'm saying? Like every time I look on Twitter, he's going to be on a new podcast.
Since you mentioned,
Go ahead.
just so we can get comments on this, if anyone's watching this, I want to do a quick contest, all right, for a Bengals on the Brain hat, because you brought up John Kitna. If you can guess in the comments where Kitna ranks in the top 100 Bengals of all time, I'll send you a hat while the show is going.
Do we get a chance at this?
Sure, because I don't think anyone get it.
It's 1 out of 100 chance.
Yeah, 1 out of 100. But you get a general idea of
assuming he's actually ranked in the top 100.
He is actually. He's in the top.
All right.
I was just going to say, you know, I've woken up in the middle of the night one night and looked over across the bed, you know, when I was in my younger years and said, "Damn, I fucked up there." Nobody laughed at that.
What?
I didn't get it.
And then the other person woke up and said, "You think you fucked up?"
Exactly.
He rolled over and saw a mirror.
Right.
And Joe, I really like the point you made about like, hey, a lot of people didn't like playing for Cincinnati. A lot of people held out. A lot of people had disputes and ended really ugly. Carl Pickens was one of them.
Yep.
That was a very rough end of his career. You know, he ended up staying with the Bengals, but I mean, it was very tumultuous where it was just like, I don't know if Carl Pickens is going to be a Bengal anymore. So, you know, it's just the way Corey handled it.
17.
And because he was their best player, it's much more, you know, memorable. And, you know, that's like you said, you know, that it just adds to what we remember and kind of how his legacy carries on.
I will say this
real quick, Joe, 81.
Not 81.
Hey Joe, if he's 17, if Crypt Keeper gets 17,
I'll
if he's
fall over my
17,
chair.
I'm unsubscribing to your fucking Twitter channel.
Yeah, I'm like, Goodberry
17 is Chris Collinsworth.
It's Chris
There you
Collins
go.
at 17.
Yeah, if you had Kitna
Not-
at 17, I'm like,
not Kitna,
Goodberry's
Greg.
losing
Hey,
it.
by the way, as long as we're talking about Kitna, I know Corey Dillon's probably watching right now. I will vote you before John Kitna, Corey Dillon.
That's a good guess.
Ooh, Darth,
That's a
good
good
guess.
guess.
That
Oh,
now you guys
got it.
cannot use that as any.
Yeah,
hints.
yeah. No.
That's a good guess.
That is a good guess.
I will say this, Joe. Normally we do have more viewers than this, but I guess they're doing something at MLT or something like that.
I mean, it's I
There's
don't.
a Reds game.
I'm not looking at your viewership, but it's Friday night on
Yeah.
in summer, so
Exactly. No, they've got something pretty awesome going on at MLTs tonight, and I think about 90% of our viewership is over there right now.
What the fuck is going on at MLTs, man? I slept through it.
Well, I did see Zach Taylor showed up over there.
Oh,
did
all
he?
right.
But yeah,
Nice.
You guys-
it's kind of hard to compete with Zach Taylor.
you guys got any questions? Anyone? You said Ray Maluga, Travis,
Yeah.
65th.
We got a
Damn. Okay.
You think that's too
28
low?
gas.
Your
a
reaction?
55
No, I
gas.
didn't know. I didn't think it was too low at all. I actually
Okay.
expected it to be like kind of around there, maybe around like 70s or 80s.
Mm.
So like I was like, oh, cool. I like that.
You
I
gotta
followed
guess from-
the dudes since college. I don't follow anybody from college, but them three dudes that were just crushing him, and I believe it was Clay. just killing people on the field, dude, just going nuts. I was like, we need one of these people. And then we picked up Ray, and I was like, thank you, Jesus. This dude looks nuts. He looks like The Rock. I love it.
We got a 55. We got a 42. We got where is Coy Bacon on your list?
So Coy Bacon's interesting, obviously, right? Only played 2 years, but was absolutely fantastic in those 2 years. So I had to play at least 2 years. So no Terrell Owens on this because like adding them, it put them because using like Hall of Fame credentials and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And plus he had a decent year. It shot him up too high. And I'm like, yeah, even guys like Charlie Joyner ended up higher than they should have been, even though he was a decent receiver for those few years. At least 1 year was pretty good. But Coy Bacon is 50th overall.
How long did it take you to make this list?
A few days. It was a process of first I was like, who are the top 15? But no, top 10 because everyone was talking about the Corey Dillon thing, and I'm like, where would he be? So I just did it, and then I was like, it's got to be some type of way to rank these guys with some numbers to aid what I'm feeling. So then I did the top 20, and I was like, oh, I'm missing too many guys, and then 50, 100, and now I'm at 170 something.
170. Where's Cincinnati's favorite, Chad Ochocinco? Where's he at?
Chad Ochocinco is the 6th best player in Bengals history. I think he goes on the ring. I think 6 and 5, Boomer Esiason and Chad.
Now, what if you rank Chad Ochocinco bald and then Chad Ochocinco with the golden mohawk? Which one's higher?
The golden mohawk wasn't good, right?
No,
he turned diva around that time, and it became weird. And that was when there was a little bit of issue. Remember, the thing about Corey Dillon leaving disgruntled, which player has not left disgruntled? And like even Chad got traded because he was done with this shit. It's really hard to find a guy that he went to the Patriots. Yep, 5th round pick. They drafted Marvin Jones,
and he was on the field for like 3 or 4 plays for that year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then he went to Miami, but I think he got arrested.
He had butted his fiance.
Yeah, I remember the game that Palmer got hurt. They said that Chad was in the locker room, like trying to fight with the coaches. Was the rumor?
Put Hugh Jackson in a headlock, apparently.
Oh, so I guess it was true.
Where'd you have Hoosh?
TJ Houshmandzadeh is number 27.
Okay.
A lot of good receivers in Bengals history.
Yeah. He was definitely one of my favorites. And the other one I was going to ask about was Darnay Scott. Darnay Scott was my favorite player growing up. Those freaking boom balls from Blake.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that was so much fun.
Looking for Darnay, 58th.
Who is your highest ranked defensive player?
That's a good question.
Oh, it's Geno Atkins.
Atkins, where's he at?
He comes out extremely high. He's number 3.
Awesome.
Wow.
Geno, all the Pro Bowls, all the all pros, all decade teams.
Mm-hmm.
Being on so many playoff teams is big for his numbers. He should make the Hall of Fame. I mean, his potential for doing that all decade team is a great indication that you'll make the Hall of Fame. I don't know if I don't think it'll be first ballot, but who's number 2? Ken Anderson. Ken Anderson is clear number 2. Like there's no one close to Anthony Munoz at 1. There is nobody close to number 2 with Ken Anderson. For the length he played in Cincinnati, the honors when he retired. I'm gonna have to do a video because he's one of the senior nominees again this year. When he retired with almost every single record at quarterback, and with an MVP, with an Offensive Player of the Year, with a Man of the Year award, and pretty much doing it for the same team the whole time. It's just like that doesn't happen, and I don't know how he got lost in the shuffle.
Yeah,
and Joe's doing
it
it again where he knows all the numbers better than the back of his head, and he's just blowing me away with all the facts of Bengals that he knows, as if he maybe hosted a podcast for a while.
Just for a second.
A little bit.
Since we're on the cusp of Ken Riley going in, first, where did you have him ranked? And more importantly, I've never watched any Ken Riley tape. I see the stats, which are really impressive, and you hear people talk about them. So where'd you have him ranked, and what did you see when did you watch like old film of Ken Riley? And what was that like?
I did. I recently watched, I want to say it was the 85 Bengals Chargers Monday Night Football game. He's covering Charlie Joyner because I was continuing my Charlie Joyner of, okay, why was he so different and it's basically because Fouts and that pass happy Don Coryell offense was just chucking the ball everywhere vertically. And it was a perfect fit for him. But even with the Bengals joiner, you could see he was there. But anyways, Ken Riley ends up number 7 overall. You can see he is extremely good and fluid and smart and takes risks on the balls constantly. Like he gets 65 interceptions because he's covering a guy. He flips his hips, transition, and tries to jump. So like say they're both going on a dig route, deep dig, right? He's covering Charlie Joyner. He's with him hip to hip, and he just leaves his feet completely and tries to dive in front of him. And he just tips off his fingertips, and they threw a penalty on it, right? And he did not touch Joyner at all. It's just like you don't see guys try to make plays like that. He was that athletic and that ball aware. He really had great ball skills and ball awareness. But let me tell you this, okay? He had 2 games where he had 3 picks. If you go and watch the official highlights of those games, they don't show any of them. When you watch he had another 4 games where he had 2 interceptions. They only show 3 of them on the official highlights. So this is a total of 12 interceptions. I want to say 14 interceptions. They show 3. They mention his name twice out of his best games ever. They just, even at the time, did not talk about Ken Riley. He had 3 picks in a game. They don't show him. And it's like, why? What was the disconnect there? And it's part of the reason I think, and this is just something I just did going through and looking for all these games and these old clips. I'm like, okay, I'm going to make a video of all Ken Riley's best games, 3 interception game. Let's pull that up. And I'm like, the 5-minute thing ends, and I'm like, you didn't show one of them.
Yeah.
How do you not do this? And it was weird. And I get through 12 or 14, whatever it was, of his best game interceptions, and they only showed 3 and mentioned his name twice. There was one, he takes a pick 6. They don't even say his name.
Wow. That's insane. Like, and I don't know if you know this, but was that any indication of just the era and they didn't value defensive?
It was
like that?
No, I wouldn't say that. So this was the official 30-minute. They used to do a show every week. It was basically NFL films. They would do a show every week of NFL 1976 week 13, right? And they would go and they in the first game here is the Philadelphia Eagles playing the Kansas City Chiefs. It was a dogfight, and they would show about 5 minutes from each game. And so when they get to the Bengals, I'm watching it for 15 minutes. So okay, finally Bengals and Oilers goes through 5 minutes. I'm like, okay, they just did not mention Ken Riley. They showed Lamar Parrish's interception. They showed Tommy Casanova's interception. I was like, what is going? Why are they? They're just not focusing on Riley at all. It was very eye-opening.
That's weird.
That's crazy. Someone wanted to ask about Richie Brand.
Yeah, so Richie Brand has almost no accolades, right? But he played for the Bengals for a long time, and we know he was a good player.
Rock solid.
Yeah, 12 years. His approximate value from Pro Football Reference is a 67, which is very respectable. And he comes out as 32nd overall.
Nice.
Joe, do you have time? And actually, Travis, both of you guys, because you guys got a lot going on. Are you guys interested in fantasy football at all? Because we're doing the Bengals and Brews Fantasy League this year, and we're actually partnered up with Cincy Hat and Ted Karras. They're going to be doing they're going to be giving away hats for the winners and stuff. It's changed. It's changed.
Oh shit!
I'm doing better.
This guy.
I'm getting better, Travis.
I can't believe you. I can't believe you right now that you would bring this up as, oh my God, as if I'm not still hurting from that. I tell you
last year.
From last year.
I do remember that.
I would. Oh my God. Have you? I would have won the whole.
Do you still have the video of that?
I would have won. No, not from last year with the thing with your league. What
that was
happened
the year before the McCaffrey video.
I forgot about that.
With the incident that happened with the Bills and Bengals game, the scoring that happened, I was half a point off and I didn't win to get into the championship. And I would have won. I paid attention. I would have won every game going on. I would have won the thing. I would crushed it. I was that close, but then that happened. Yes, I love fantasy football. I would love to join this again and redeem myself on any means necessary.
Did you join already?
No.
Oh, all you got to do is make a $20 cash donation to the Village of Marici or the CincyHat.com, and you'll send us the proof, and you automatically get signed up for the fantasy league.
Every league winner. So we've got 3 leagues open right now. We just started the 4th. every league winner will get a Cincy hat. I don't know if it'll be signed or not. I'm sure we could figure something out. But this back here behind me, this jersey, Ted Karras, will be autographed for the overall winner of the league.
Nice.
We'll be giving that one away.
Yep.
Are you now explain for the people that I imagine if they have not known, and I don't mean to do like a host thing here. Can you tell them what this league is about? Since you said you're changing it up, because last year's league was a little weird.
Yeah, last year was a best ball league, but this year we're doing just a 10-team PPR regular redraft league. It'll be one quarterback, one or two wide receivers, two running backs, a tight end, a flex, a defense, and a kicker.
Yep. Be
Nice.
online drafts. We have 3 full leagues right now. We've started a 4th that we're working on filling, and
2 full leagues. We can't get Bridget to sign up in our.
Bridget will be fine. Someone just needs to hold her hand and sign up.
We'll
for
grab
Sleeper.
her phone from her.
Yeah, it's all through the Sleeper app, and we'll do our best to coordinate around everyone's schedule. But obviously 10 people, worst case scenario, you have to auto draft, but it's all for charity. And yeah, like you said, just make a donation of it's $20 or more, correct, Derek?
Yeah, exactly.
$20 or more through the cincyhat.com, and then send a screenshot via Twitter or Facebook to the Bengals and Brews account, and we will get you in.
And this is just to clarify this. This isn't to buy a hat. This is to donate.
No,
Just
donation.
Donation.
Okay. Just
Yes.
making sure. Okay.
No, that's a good clarification, because
Also, please
other
buy a
people
hat,
want
though.
to-
The money goes to a good cause.
Dude, I saw. Did you guys see that Shane Gillis was wearing one of those hats?
I don't know who that is.
Oh my God.
Either do I. Should I?
Shane Gillis is a comedian. He was at a UFC event. Just
I did see that. Now that you mentioned
and Shane
it, yeah.
Gillis was wearing this ridiculous, like, I think I actually have the polo, so I don't know why I'm talking shit about it, but it's like a tiger pattern polo looking
Oh, I
thing.
got
Right.
that one.
And it has and he had a Cincy hat on, and I was like, no shit. He always, every time he smiles and does it, it's like this. He really can never see his hat, but there was a photo of him in the background of somebody where he's just like,
Yeah, it was.
and it had the Cincy hat, and I was like, no shit, he owns one of those. That's awesome.
Somebody was videoing the Trumpster walking through there, and I just happened they screenshotted. There was a screenshot of a picture of that guy wearing his Cincy hat.
Yeah, he's a pretty big comedian. He's doing really well. He's basically side by side with not stats wise, but like going out on the road. He's with Bert Kreischer all the time.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Shane's got his own thing, so he doesn't really like go under Bert, but like if Bert's ever doing one of those big events, Shane's always there for the most part.
Well, he must be a big Bengals fan if he's wearing the shirt and the hat.
I don't know.
Especially the shirt. I got that shirt.
I don't know, to be honest with you. I don't know. I know he's a big college football guy, but I don't know about professional, what he rolls with on that one. But I've been wanting those hats forever. Those hats are so sick.
So Glenn Stefani over there, he must be a little busy right now. I know he said he had some things going on, but I did want to ask you guys some very important questions. Like one of the questions I had was, what is going on with this strike, and why is Deadpool 3 on hold right now?
Did you guys? Oh my God! Did you guys see what one of the main things they're striking on? I was just talking about this today with my coworker.
The AI?
Yeah, it's
Yes.
the AI.
The AI
bullshit.
thing. To clarify, because this is bonkers to me. Anybody that is in acting, all they have to do is they will get a face scan of you and a voice scan. They will have you basically pictured up to where they can have you in any movie at any time, no matter the role. They'll have you in the video, and they'll pay you the one-time fee for you to get that role done, to get it done, and then they can use your thing for all eternity. They can use you at any role, no discretion to you, no compensation to you.
They're basically buying the rights like an NFT.
Yes, but for one time, and it wasn't even that
That's
big
insane.
of a purchase. I mean,
Not
like
like a royalty.
you can't put a money price on like how big a movie's going to be and such, and like
Right.
what role you're going to play, because you might not want to be in the role that's going to be there. But they were
That's
trying
insane.
to have these guys play these roles that they would have no idea until they like watch the movie, and they're like, "Holy Christ, that's me!"
Why
That's
would you even
insane.
have to be a fucking actor at that point? They just look for a face, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because they make you act with the AI.
Yeah.
So-
And they joined with the directors, basically, in a sense. The directors have already been on strike. And I don't know if you guys have noticed this. There is a growing of strikes in America right now. UPS is going to be one very
Right.
soon, and
We got close.
It's
Uh-oh.
going to be the biggest strike. It's going to be the biggest strike in history. Of over 300,000 employees will be on strike.
Jeez.
Well, hopefully it
Our,
can happen for 7 or 10 days so that guy can get that fucking hat I just mailed out to him.
You may have to drive to Rivertown yourself.
It's not the Rivertown. I sent out the Ted Karras autographed hat. to
Oh,
the
that
guy.
one.
Yeah.
In
Sorry.
Colorado.
Yeah, that was the giveaway we
Yeah.
did when Ted
It's
was
in
on.
Colorado. Oh, by
no,
the way, is the
they're not-
Rivertown Increase, do they send it UPS?
I don't know.
Man,
I don't know.
I'll
Are you
drive
asking
down
me?
there.
I don't know.
I'm pretty
Huh?
sure they do. I think that's how I got mine.
Their contract ends on July 31st, and
All right, I'll
president
get my hat.
the president of their union says that if a contract is not in place that they agree on by August 1st, there will be a strike.
Jeez.
Hey, honestly,
Well-
though, I mean, you do the mail, so how much shit does UPS even deliver anymore, man? Amazon, Jeff Bezos is taking over all that
That's
shit.
true. And
You-
I'm
you
sorry.
know-
Go ahead. Travis.
No, you would really be surprised because in the mail industry that we have what is called we deliver the last mile for the UPS. So they
Mhm.
they have X amount of packages they can
That's
deliver in
what-
their 8-hour day, and whatever they cannot deliver, they hand it off to us in their new contract. One of the things they're pushing is so then they can get rights to all their packages that they want to deliver, which will potentially affect us. But I talk to them all the time out on the street, and they get a
Out in
decent
these
amount of
streets.
packages. Yeah, out on those streets, man. It's hot. It's really bad. I couldn't wait
The
for my
mean
shower.
mail
today.
streets.
I used to see those big brown trucks everywhere. It's like I rarely ever see them anymore, but the goddamn Amazon trucks are like fucking like roaches. They're everywhere.
We still get UPS all the time. It's
you
probably
really?
it's got to be 50-50.
Amazon, UPS is still thriving as a business, and
Maybe-
last year I believe they had 1.6 billion in profit. And so one of the biggest things that they have right there is why is it not going to the employees? Why is not a decent amount of that going to the employees? And that's it's the
Union
same
strong.
thing that goes all around. I mean, once you have a strong union and you can do it, man, and they're seeing it.
I'm a
It's-
union worker.
Yes,
It's
sir.
big time. It's big time, and I love it. I'm excited for it. I talked to one of the guys. They're already having signs out in the front of their UPS trucks that says like encouraging of the strike. They're practicing pitchforks and all their like we're gonna fucking do this.
Man, they're fucking organizing right now, guys. Do you
Yeah.
feel it? Do you feel this? Listen, if you didn't get a 6% raise
rebellion.
this year,
Yeah, we're actually so we extended our contract out a year. We made
Yeah,
a deal
you're a
with
union guy.
Yeah, we made a deal with the company. They gave us like I think 3.5% to extend it out a year.
3.5. That's
I
shitty.
guess just because we also get raises on top of that. But,
Right.
But yeah, so if by July 31st next year, if we don't have a contract signed, we'll be striking as well.
Oh, your contract year's in July. So's mine next year.
ours
That's
was July
normally-
this year, and we turned down multiple offers and got really, really close to needing an extension, and then they came in with a little bit better offer.
Did you vote
Yeah,
yes?
We're currently out of a contract right now, and there's a little clause in contract that says that we can't. But if our brothers in Brown decide to do it and they do it right, it's whispered. It's whispered that might be an approach that we might take, and it's going to be interesting. I'm excited for that.
Crazy. Not to change the subject, but how all this started was about Deadpool 3.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry. I didn't know it was being delayed. Last I saw, there were set photos of
I know.
Wolverine, the yellow and blue. Like,
The actor strike, though.
have they halted
Yeah,
production? and
So
filming?
yeah, I saw Joe posted that picture. What was it? 2 days ago, 3 days ago, when you posted the picture of Deadpool and
Well, I didn't
Wolverine,
post
Joe?
it. I just retweeted it.
you just
and
retweeted
said,
it. Okay.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, I just literally, it was about 10 minutes ago now, saw Bengals posted that they were on a standstill. And I'm like, no.
What did you guys hear about with the directors and now the actors? Did you hear about the halt in the new season of Stranger Things? How far along that's going to be?
Yeah, it's 2025.
Yeah, we're
They're gonna
waiting
be
a bit for that one. We're
They're
waiting
gonna
a
be
bit.
grandparents.
Yeah.
I just saw Millie Bobby Brown at the T-Swift concert.
So
She's
far,
at the
you haven't
VIP.
said anything that affects me. I mean, I'll see Deadpool, but I can't see no goddamn movies until they come out on video anyway. I can't go to the movie theater. I'm too
You don't go
busy
to
all the
movie
time.
theater? Oh,
I'm
I love
busy. I was thinking, like, when we're talking about it, I'm thinking, oh, goddamn, I better get to a fucking movie. And I thought when we get off here, I'm going to see what's playing.
Dude,
I only get
speaking of
Fridays
movies, man, next weekend's a big weekend. It's a big weekend. You got Oppenheimer and you got Barbie,
yeah,
dude.
Mhm.
And you have Mission Impossible, right?
That one came out. It's
I thought
already
it
out.
came
isn't
out.
it?
Oh, okay. Sorry, guys.
It
Maybe
came
I'll
out
go
this-
see
it
that.
came out
Maybe I'll
today,
go see
right?
that
Guys.
tonight.
I'm a week early. Sorry.
And I just yelled in my mic. My bad.
You did.
And
You have the big meetup, the big Bengals and Brews meetup at.
That's right.
Oh shit! What's the name?
What are you guys
of it?
gonna have?
Miami
Like
Brewing.
smoke a bunch of meat?
yeah,
Little Miami
Like it's a
Brewing.
meat up,
there's going to
We-
be a lot of meat there.
right?
Yeah, Little Miami Brewery. Teddy K will be over there. This will be Pork Chop's 6,473rd time meeting Ted.
They're like best friends.
Yeah,
Hey,
they
my
are
name's
BFFs.
Ted Terry. I'm over here at Pork Chop's house right now, hanging out with him. Just thought I'd stop by and say hi and let everybody know I'll be at the Little Miami Brewery and signing autographs and whatnot next Friday. Make sure you come out and see me, get an autograph, buy a Cincinnati hat, cincyhat.com, make a donation to the Village of Marici, which is taking care of adults with disabilities. It's a real good charity. Make sure you stop out and see me. Maybe you don't know I got new bucket hats and I got visors, and we're going to have them at Little Miami Brewery with my little buddy Matt. We're going to be there hanging out all night. Come down there and get a drink on with Teddy K.
Not bad.
Buddy,
Pretty good.
That
Sounds just
sounded
like him.
exactly like him.
I met him
Yeah.
a lot of times. I got the voice down pretty good.
It sounded a lot like yours, but
No,
It did.
not me
yeah,
at all.
starting at 4 p.m. Little Miami Brewing Company in Milford. We're all gonna be there, and yeah, definitely
Greg
stop
will
out.
be there at 8 a.m.
Joe Goodberry's going to be there.
Hey, I'm gonna be in Cincinnati for a few more weeks, guys. All right.
They got new visors, bucket hats. Should be a fun time.
When are you coming? Because I'm looking at what training camp I'm going to go to. So when are you going to be down here?
I'll be there from the 6th to the 10th,
All right.
August. It's the second week when the Packers are there.
Nice. Are you going to the
Awesome.
game?
No.
Okay.
It'll be the day before I come back.
He's like, hell no, I don't go to freaking
preseason.
preseason games.
I love preseason. To be honest with you.
I do
He's
too.
watching film of Lamar Parrish.
Yeah, exactly.
He loves every
I-
football goal.
I
He-
love
He was so
preseason
good.
games, but I enjoy watching them on TV because I feel like on TV you can study more than you can when you're actually sitting there. Like when I'm sitting in the stands, I feel like I'm only focused on the quarterback and what the receivers are doing. It's harder to focus in on everything else.
I assume the more you sit in the stands, the better off you will be at being able to see. Because like you ever look up, you're at a game, you're like, this guy's got 75 yards already. How did that happen? Like it's just your whole like coordination is off because you've seen 10,000 games from the TV, and
Mhm.
even if you've done 20 games in person, it's like I can't tell what's happening.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a little curve for this one, but I just actually bought tickets to SummerSlam on August
Nice.
5th.
Where is that?
It's in Ford Field. And
Wrestling better in person or on TV?
In person.
I've been
Depends on the
I've
crowd.
been to one pay-per-view, and I got a story on that one. My brother was having a little fun with a woman that had a lot of money, and so he slightly mentioned that he liked wrestling back in the day, and so she just bought him tickets, and we were like, "Looks like we're going to Cincinnati to go." We went all the way to Cincy, I believe it was, and we had no idea on the drive down that we were going to a fucking pay-per-view, and we had decent seats. And I was
Nice.
like, and I wasn't in wrestling either at that time. I stopped from like probably when I was like 12 to I think I was 18 at the time. And I was like, fuck it, let's go down. No, I was 21. And I was like, I stopped for a while. And I'm like, fuck it, dude, let's go down. Let's just have a good time. And we went down there, and it was the best time live because you were just with the crowd the whole time. And ever since then, I've been hooked to watch it again. I have been to a couple indie shows and such like that, but I haven't been to a WWE event yet. And
Nice.
now WWE is absolutely thriving with crowd interaction and everything else. So
The one you came down was at WCW?
no, what?
Oh. Well, you said you haven't been to a WWE event. You said you went to a pay-per-view in Cincinnati.
No, it was a pay-per-view WWE event.
Oh, okay.
I haven't been to a WWE event since. I've
Mm.
been to a couple indie shows like GCW, which is just like ECW today, which is bonkers. If GCW, if you're a wrestling fan, GCW's in your town,
Wow.
go to it. It's cheap and it is fucking nuts, dude. And they have some phenomenal wrestlers.
I
I would
Dude,
love
you'll
to
have
go to
you'll
one of
have
those.
glass
I've
flying
seen it.
near you. That's how crazy that place is. All the
I did
time.
recently go to a wrestling event too,
Did
and
you?
it was freaking awesome. It was that micro wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
That was badass,
Phenomenal.
man. That
Phenomenal.
was
So-
awesome.
My,
Go
ahead, I'm sorry.
the reason I brought that up is because I am a little nervous. We brought a seat to where like the entrance is kind of near us, so we get to see them walk out and such. But I am kind of nervous for that atmosphere because I agree with Joe with this because I went to a game last year, and even though I was a little buzzed up, you're watching it and you're like, oh shit, I didn't realize this guy has 110 on him right now. I'm gonna have the video up. I'm gonna be watching on my phone while watching it in person, just like kind of like understand closer. But it's interesting to see how that one will turn out compared to football.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, speaking on wrestling, I feel like it wouldn't be a Bengals and Brews if we didn't mention this, Travis. I want to know the story on the choke slam.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you want to know the story? Okay.
You
haven't
got
told
pretty
us,
famous
like,
from
immediately?
that.
Set up the story for everyone too.
All right. So as I just mentioned, I am a big wrestling fan, and I am at a hardcore festival, which I've been a hardcore fan for a very long time. I'm at a hardcore festival in Detroit, and
Is this
a
pornography
music
or what kind of
concert.
hardcore?
it's a music. It's not hardcore porn. We're not watching just a bunch of
Hardcore
singing.
package deliveries. I didn't know.
Bestiality.
Yeah.
No milk.
No,
porn.
it's hardcore music. It's hardcore music, and so the guy
call the callback.
Brody King is the vocalist for God's Hate. It's a band called God's Hate, and the vocalist's name is Brody King. He is a AEW wrestler, and I love
He's
I
awesome.
love AEW. I love WWE, and so he was at the merch stand. And there was only a couple people there, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go see what merch they have, and also just say like, yo, I love you as a wrestler. And the people in front of him got a photo, and so I thought to myself, I was like, okay, I want to be a little different. And I was like, I went up to him, and excuse me, and I was like, hey, Brody, I love you as a fucking wrestler. I love you, and God's Hate. Can you do me a favor and take a photo with me doing the chokehold that you did to Darby Allin as you were eliminating him? In the Battle Royale. And he laughed and he was like, yeah, dude, for sure. I'll definitely do that. And so I got the photo. He
You're like,
laughed.
choke me, daddy. And he was like, yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, no, he synced it up and then I did the whole face and it was super funny. And then so after he did that, I turned to him. I got some merch and I was like, hey, man, if you're feeling froggy, by all means, do that to me on stage. It'll be fucking sweet. I don't know. I don't know if he just said yeah just to get me out the way and just get going because there was more people behind me, or if he understood me. And he was just like, yeah, for sure. And I was like, okay, cool. So in my head, I'm in the front, and in the front of that set was the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life. There's men just punching each other in the face nonstop, and I'm just sitting there, just love it. I love God's Hate, so I'm up there just going nuts.
That's insane.
And I'm up there, and it's at the very last song, and I'm like, fuck it, now's the time. And so it finished the job is this, I believe is the song, unless I'm fucking this up. It's the very end of it, and he's like, to paint the picture, this is a very big man with tattoos all over him, standing there at the stage, just like
Huge.
And I'm like, fuck it, dude, I'm gonna do it. I jump on stage, I do a front flip to the side, I come back up, and I'm like, I tap him on the stomach. And this is the part that is different between what went viral compared to what is reality of this. I tap him on the stomach, and I went like this. I was like, do this, do it. And he looked at me, and from the back view, you just see Brody King staring at me like kind of clueless. And I'm just like, do it. I did it 3 times. Tap him on the stomach, do it. Tap him, do it. I'm like, and I'm realizing there's miscommunication. This is not looking good. I look like a fucking idiot. And then he snatched me up and threw me off the stage. And I thought it was stupid because of communication problems. I kind of blacked out at that moment, so I don't really remember necessarily what happened. And
Choking out.
Yeah, I was like, dude, this is awesome regardless. I was pissed off about the miscommunication. Everybody there was like, yo, that was fucking
It was
nuts,
awesome.
I went to Brody King after, and I was like, "Hey, man, I'm so fucking sorry for miscommunication. That was super whack." And he's like, "No, dude, that was super fucking sick. Don't worry about it."
It was
Yada,
cool.
Oh,
So then I'm like, for Boogered Up, I'm like, okay. I was going to talk about the fest regardless, but in this situation, I was going to barely bring it up. But then Twitter went fucking nuke.
What do you got?
What is it there?
Joe Mixon, who had a $9.4 million non-guaranteed base salary, agreed tonight to restructure his contract. Remain in
Wow.
Cincinnati.
You knew, Joe.
Joe's goal is to win a Super Bowl and play his career in Cincinnati, and this is the best way to accomplish these goals, said his agent, Peter Schaefer.
Hey, the whole time I see Joe down there on his phone, he was working a fucking deal right here on the show.
So sorry.
It was coming.
Sorry, can you repeat? Did they the terms?
Did he say the amount?
They did not say the amount.
Oh, they didn't say
just,
the amounts.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll
Was that
come up
Schefter?
shortly. That was Schefter. Yep.
Wow.
Good shit.
You called that, Joe. You got sources.
Hey, Travis, how many views got on that thing? With him throwing you off a stage.
Oh my god! I think
Tens of thousands.
Twitter had a couple million.
God,
Oh, a
damn.
couple million?
Yeah, and it got shared all over. I looked on
Holy
the
crap.
web, and there was articles left and right.
You don't seem happy about it. Are you embarrassed?
So here's the problem. The back view of it, I look ridiculous begging this grown-ass man
I
to
don't think
throw me
so.
by my neck. That's why in my head, when I was pissed off, I'm like, damn, dude, that looks so fucking stupid. I don't know why you did that. You're dumb. And everybody's like, no, dude, don't sweat. That shit was so funny. That was awesome, yada,
I
yada.
thought it was awesome.
I didn't notice anything.
So here was the thing for me, and that was great because I was like, okay, of course I'm gonna edit this up because it's going viral all over the place.
Yeah.
I got to talk about it now. And
Hell
so
yeah.
as I'm getting ready to do that, somebody that was at the show has access to clips. There's a photographer, Hate56. He was recording the whole set, all the sets, and he has what's called the Patreon as a thing called Patreon. You can subscribe and get early access to stuff. He's on his Patreon, and the Patreon view of that. When I tapped him at first, and I did the choke slam thing. From the front view, he's just sitting there smiling at me with the most devilish look I've ever seen in my life. As if he's like, I'm gonna snatch this kid up and I'm throwing him forever. And I didn't remember that. So it was really cool to see that part. But yeah, Barstool Sports had me at the front page getting thrown by my neck by one of my favorite wrestlers currently.
That's cool, man.
Yeah,
it was
absolutely.
the wildest. It was the wildest like 48 hours because everybody
That's
was
so
tagging
cool.
me and all this stuff. I got a haircut down in Cincy when I went and saw Taylor Swift, and I'm there at the barbershop. Hey, if you guys also, I don't know where you get your haircuts at. I don't know if anybody here is listening that's from Cincinnati. If you're not at the barbershop, Bellevue Barbershop, you are fucking up. Because that barbershop is elite. They won Best Barbershop of 2022 and Best Barbershop of 2023.
Think about awards for this.
I'm gonna have
Yes,
to go
there
down
is.
there.
There is awards for it. They won.
They give
won-
awards for pornos. I mean,
I fucked up,
surely
man.
they-
I got my shit done at Great Clips in Delhi.
Dude, I'm telling you, go to. I'm serious about it, and tell them that Travis sent you. The owner, Travis, right now is currently on tour with, and I swear to God, it's gonna fuck me up. A country artist that's decently big right now. He's a barber for him. I'm not sure if he's back yet or not, but there are still 4 other people in the studio or in the shop right now, cutting heads nonstop. They're going left and right, and the atmosphere in there is awesome. It's great conversation every time. I had such a good time with Mike down there, and he's also in the hardcore scene. I haven't seen him in a while. I said what's up to him, and I talked about that. And he's like, "You mean to tell me that long red-haired dude was you?" And I was like, "Yeah, that was me."
They do beards too.
They do.
What
I
is
tell
it?
you what,
It's in
I
Ludlow.
haven't been cut. I have not been cut since then. And I'm now starting to look a little scruffy. They had me set for a while. It was very nice, and they had a nice warm towel on your face, and then they put a cold towel on your face. It gave you a full barbershop experience. Seriously, I cannot promote that enough.
What's the name of the place again? I'm gonna write it down.
It's Bellevue Barbershop.
Okay.
It's right over the bridge.
Very, very cool of you to be plugging them as well, and that's an awesome story.
Mhm.
I do have to cut in though, and it's very uncommon that we get breaking news in the middle of July about the Bengals.
No
I
shit.
saw
Yes, let's talk
Joe.
about
I see you on your phone. I saw you fist pumping at one point.
Uh-oh.
Is there anything you can share?
No, just I was reading. I wanted to see the reports because they come from the agents first. That's typically how this news breaks. And when they don't say the money, that's a good thing in terms of how you want to look at it. I mean, for his camp, I think so. Here's what I'll say. the writing was on the wall. That is Dalvin Cook sitting out there for a month and a half, and there's no end in sight on that too, because we'll probably wait until camp starts for that. What are you going to do,
Can
right?
Can I ask why? I've been so curious about that. Why is he still out there?
Running backs have this decision to make. Do I take punishment on 300 touches for $4 million a year when I think I'm worth $10 million? But nobody's going to give you even $4 million. So, like, what do? Do you wait until a running back gets hurt? Now you got to offer me $4 million. I mean, like, they're scraping bottom of the barrel. And
Bijan, the rookie running back for the Falcons, I think he's currently like the fourth highest paid running back right now, and that's just a rookie deal.
Yeah, first round rookie.
Of the top 6 contracts for running backs this year, cap hits, now 4 of them have either agreed to restructure or take pay cuts.
Mm-hmm.
And with Joe Mixon being one. Aaron
that?
Jones, Ezekiel Elliott, Dalvin Cook, and Joe Mixon.
Wait, Zeke?
Zeke was going to make $16 million this year, and they cut him.
Yeah.
Oh, they cut him.
That counts as a pay cut.
I thought you said restructure.
Restructured, got pay cut, or got cut.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So
it's slipping my mind real quick, but the running back that played for Tennessee, it was really good for not Derrick Henry. No,
the guy before Henry. It was
Chris Johnson.
Yeah, there you go. So I heard.
Did he say Tennessee? I thought he said Tampa.
For Tennessee. Yeah,
it was Tennessee. But I heard an interview with him where they asked him, like, what would you say to any running back in college now, that has aspirations going to the NFL? And he said, I'd tell him switch positions.
Yep. I would too.
Yeah,
I mean, it is a horrible time to be a running back because the market doesn't value them. And basically after their rookie deal, it's just like, it's very few and far between that, a guy's going to make 10 million plus on a second deal and not get cut or restructured. It's just kind of the way the league is moving towards getting more pass happy, and they get hurt more often. And it kind of sucks. I mean, there's so many talented running backs
in the draft.
Yeah. And there's so many new ones coming out. So Joe, do you think this has any foreshadowing for extensions?
Yes.
Especially for Joey B.
Yes. So while we're celebrating that Mixon's making less, man's making less money, as we were just talking about Union Strong at 20 minutes ago, right? But while we're celebrating that, let's paint Joe Mixon in a good light here. He did it because he wants to be part of the team.
Exactly.
He did it because they want him to be part of the team. And he did it because it gives them cash and cap space to extend not just Joe Burrow, but T. Higgins and Logan Wilson, which is the idea. They pitched this to him. Like, Joe, we need, if we only have 14 million in cap space, and I'm forgetting the exact number, and we got to give 15 million this year to Joe Burrow, or 10 million this year. That's what it was. 10 million this year to Joe Burrow. If we're going to extend Higgins and Logan Wilson, we're going to need 4 million for each one of those guys. We don't have enough unless you give us 4 or 5 million of what you got coming, or we could cut you and you can get 2.5 million out there. Don't make us make this decision.
Yeah.
And they came to an agreement.
Well,
I think this is definitely reading.
He did. So now it's 1 year.
Yeah, now he's down to 1.
I think this.
I don't think that's been reported yet. So
and there's no number out for what he's getting paid this coming season yet.
I can only speculate. I did not get a number. I can just only speculate, and I wouldn't. So
I would have to say, and this is speculation too, but this almost to me signifies that Mixon, T, Jamar, like all those guys are going to be staying together now for at least the next 4 years.
I like how Derek says only speculation, like he's fucking talking to Zach Taylor on the phone. Recently.
No, I mean I don't want people being like Bengals and Brews reported.
Oh yeah.
Nobody would do that.
Yeah.
If we can speculate for a minute, though, let's say an easy way to do this would be, because you can't restructure his deal. So that wording is going to be incorrect, but everyone knows that word, so we're going to use it, right? Yeah. What it really means is they ripped up the old contract and they're agreeing to a new one. And they're going to say, let's just throw a number out there. Again, I don't know this number. I'm being clear.
Right.
Let's just say, okay, $5 million this year, and we're going to put, since you had 879 yards last year, if you hit 1,000, we'll give you another 1.5 million. If you play 15 games, we'll give you another 1.5 million. If you reach 10 touchdowns, you get 1.5 million. Yeah. Well, he made the Pro Bowl last year, right? Or was it the year before?
Year
Year
before.
before.
Yeah.
Okay, so whatever he didn't hit last year, you can make an incentive, and it doesn't count towards the cap hit. So you can set all these things and say, hey, you can make all this money back if you have a crazy year. It's just not going to hurt us cap wise. So like that's the best way to handle it.
Those are, I forget what they're called. They're like impossible or not impossible.
Not likely to be earned.
Yes, not likely to be earned. That's it.
And I mean, I definitely think, obviously Joe Burrow's extensions any day. I don't feel as confident about T getting extended now. I think a lot of that is because of we have Jamar coming up soon, and because of who T's agent is.
Right.
Like, those are my two biggest things. Like, how much money are we going to want to lock in long term to our top two receivers? And Dave Mulligetta doesn't have a good track record with negotiating reasonable contracts. Are you optimistic about T, Joe?
I'm not still. I'm still 50-50 that'll happen. But 50 is – it could happen. I mean, because I think there's a middle ground here where he's young enough, and if you get him on a 3-year deal, it doesn't intersect with Jamar's big money, so you don't ever have to worry about that. You can pay him a lot now, and he can still get another contract offer when he's 27 years old out there from other teams, which I think is the best of both worlds, and you don't have to give out a huge guaranteed money because it's only a 3-year deal, right? So even if you guaranteed 2 years, which the Bengals don't do, but maybe that's an in-between, we're talking about guaranteeing $30 million. They could do that, and I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility.
Let me say this also, that if I'm T. Higgins, right, maybe I'm also thinking, man, I got a real good shot at a fucking Super Bowl this year with Joe. And then he wants to be a number one, which he's not going to be here in Cincinnati. He'll always be labeled 1B at best with Jamar out there. So maybe T's like, I really want to get fucking paid. I want to be that number one guy. I want to be the guy on the team. But I also got an outstanding chance to go to a Super Bowl. So maybe if I'm T, I'd say, let me just play this year and we'll talk next year. Because if he wins a Super Bowl this year, maybe next year he goes looking for that number one spot.
We're also just coming off the era of basketball super teams where everyone tried to get together, right? And do whatever they could to be together and make themselves better and win a Super Bowl. And I think Joe and Jamar, their connection rubs off a little bit, where Joe knew he wanted Jamar to unlock the other part of his game. And Jamar loves Joe Burrow for everything, and they believe they make each other who they are. I have no doubt in my mind T sees that and sees it a little bit and goes, I would be crazy to go catch passes from name this quarterback, whoever, just
David
for
Carr.
just for an extra little bit of money with
Eric
no
Carson.
other receiver on the other side. Yeah, they're pulling the David Carr out of the grave for this one.
Sorry.
He's not dead. He's alive and well, guys. But
Eric Carr, not David Carr. Well, David Carr was basically buried. He got sacked a million times.
but you're right. That idea, of let me go catch passes from Brock Purdy. I mean, like, and with, let's say you go to the Saints and they don't have another receiver for you on the other side, and now you're constantly getting this other attention, and you don't have a chance to win a Super Bowl, and your numbers could actually take a hit even though you're getting more targets. So I do think we're in a new era where it could happen, where teams value spending on two receivers more than they ever have before.
Hey, Cincinnati's got a lot of trends here lately, and this might just be the next one.
The Saints have Michael Thomas. They're good.
Yeah, slant boy.
And then going on to Logan, he's one I'm very mixed about. I know the Bengals really want him, and that'd be great to have him and Pratt locked up for a period of time. The only reason I'm not more than 60% confident that he will sign an extension, especially this offseason, is because of what Pratt got paid and how the linebacker market really cooled this offseason. So that would be my biggest reason. If I'm Logan Wilson, I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to bet on myself and see if the market improves.
Bounces back.
Go from there. How do you feel about it?
He's also a little bit older. So he was turning 24 as a rookie type guy. So he's only going to get one deal, right? Unless he's some super freak, and he's already dealt with injuries. So I think this is his only payday if he's thinking about that. And I think he should be. And so you need to get everything you can. But at the same time, the Bengals may look at it like, we really don't want to pay two linebackers. unless their values.
Yeah.
Because if the plan is to have Joe Burrow, Orlando Brown, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins all making good money, you can't spend too much elsewhere. And we saw the way they drafted, right? Their whole secondary is going to be cheap in another year. No one's going to make anything by 2025. And that's by design because you need that extra cash to go other places. The only reason they got Jermaine Pratt back is because the market was not there. They had an offer on the table like, listen, we want you if you're value to us, a cheap market deal. He went out there, didn't find what he wanted, said, okay, we'll take it, and it's a deal. So I think the same thing could happen for Logan Wilson. I don't think the Bengals will go up to 12, 13, 14 million. I think they would go as high as 7, 8 million, and I don't think Logan will take it. So I think that one is less likely than Higgins.
Really? Okay. And then we have one more question from the chat talking about extensions. I have no idea. That's one I'm just like, I don't even have an opinion about Reader. Yeah. It's just like, it seems like that would be fourth in priority as far as these guys we're talking about, going Burrow, Higgins, Logan, and then Reader. So I'm worried he's just going to be kind of lost in the shuffle because we have so many guys that are younger to take care of. What do you think about Reader, Joe?
So the defensive tackle market has absolutely exploded. But I think it was Bro Bible put out defensive tackle rankings, talking to executives and stuff, and he wasn't even in the top 10. He wasn't even in the honorable mention of the next few. So is he going to get that $20 million deal going into his age 29 and the next year 30 season in the offseason? I don't think so. I think he could still be underrated nationally. I still think he could be looking at $15 million a year, basically what he's on now. And if that's the case, I think most teams in a Super Bowl window would try to extend him, get this year's cap hit as low as possible, roll that money to future years, and use that money to sign a Logan Wilson, use that money to sign T. Higgins and Joe Burrow. And he's like an easy guy to pick and say, you extend him put 2 years on the end of this until he's 31. You're not really risking it too bad. Right. And you create cap space now. So I think underrated could happen, but I don't expect it because of the $15+ million hit.
Yeah, and that was my whole thing too. I could definitely see them extending Reader just for the simple fact that when he chose to come here, he said, like, I could either be playing, my quarterback could be, I forget who was it, Drew Lock,
right,
or it could be Joe Burrow, and he chose Joe Burrow, and I could see him staying here for that same fact.
Well, also I agree with what Joe said. I think they'll probably let him test the market, but when he tests the market, it's not going to be as hot as he thinks it's going to be because of his age. It's a big factor. I mean, he's a badass. He makes a difference when he's on the field. He's a great tackle, but he's going to test the market because of his age and because he plays for the Bengals. And like you said, without the notoriety, he's going to test the market. And I think the Bengals will be able to afford whatever that he would test for.
Boys, if I can jump in real quick, I got to go because the boy just got home from summer camp for the last week. So I'd like to see him. And my daughter had a travel softball tournament game, and I'd like to hear how it went. So
you guys
it's been real, boys. Hey, I've got a training camp book coming out.
Awesome.
First Star let me make a book. They're producing it. You'll be able to download it and maybe even get a physical copy. It's going to have scouting reports and grades on every player on the Bengals roster. It's going to be a good time.
Awesome. Thanks a lot for joining, Joe. Really appreciate your insight.
Yep.
Glad we had some Bengals news to talk about with you on.
Yes, sir. That was nice.
I know.
All right, man. Take care.
All right, take care, boys.
Who day?
Who day?
Travis, what's your take on all this extension stuff, mix and restructure? Anything you want to chime in on?
I got to be honest with you, man. Joe knows a lot of shit.
Mm-hmm.
To the point where I'm boogered up. I gotta talk a lot. I gotta be the one to voice the reason because I got a nincompoop to my left most of the time. God bless Fairytale. I love him to death. Everybody loves Fairytale on the podcast.
Oh, I love him.
But, then I got Cody Ray who comes out with the one punches that you don't know where they're coming from, and I try and just like always navigate around and try and do it. So it's always a blessing to come here, and I'm like, I'm going to shut up for about 30 minutes and let Joe Goodberry talk because he's on here half the time I'm on, and I'm like, dude, he's got the knowledge.
He ain't even talking, man. That's preaching.
Yeah,
he is. He knows his stuff. He knows his stuff super well.
And Travis, since you brought up for anyone that's not seen Boogered Up, describe it. I mean, you guys always touch on like a range of topics. It is wild. It's hilarious. But how would you describe Boogered Up to someone who hasn't seen it?
like Wild and Out, but better.
Let me do one thing quick before I get on that one, because I had one thing real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
As the fan of the Bengals that doesn't taking back from Bengals and Brews, is I'm not a co-host anymore, and actually being able to breathe a little bit from trying to study Bengals nonstop and just being like one of those flush fans. Hearing that news immediately, that's the only thing that I think about, is that Joe Mixon is set in stone with the goons, getting ready to go into the trenches to get a title. That's the only thing I think of when I see that. It's not anything else about he's losing money, he's not getting paid the right way, whatever has to do that way. It's him seeing the fact that, okay, they sat down and they were like, yo, we got to pay this dude X, this dude Y, this dude Z. We got a lot of money that's going to be coming out in the next couple of years because of all the draft picks that we had that were phenomenal, that are working out so well for us, that we want to keep. And you're a veteran. You're a guy that's been here for a minute. That's dude that you can hold this locker room together. We just need you to do this. And it's awesome to see with the news that he did that. And that's the only thing that I think of as a person that's not diving hard into it, but is sitting back a little bit. That's immediately what I think of.
No, well put.
Postal Travis, Crypt Keeper.
That's a blast from the past right there. Yeah, absolutely. I'm surprised.
Involved with Boogered Up. Okay. So Boogered Up, from the beginning of it, was basically just a whole thing that's where, when you grow up, and this is real. This is real talk here. When you grow up, you lose a lot of your friends because a lot of people go their own different ways. And so you can't go out with your friends all the time. Just go to the bar. And if you have that, blessings to you. I'm so happy for you that you still have that clique and you have that situation. Nobody left. Nobody moved. Nobody went to the military, whatever the case may be on that one. But there's a lot of people that after high school, they lose a lot of their friends back in the day, where they hold and cherish those moments, to where you have those conversations and you can go back and call back when you see those people and you're like, yo, you remember the time that this happened?
Yeah.
Awesome. It's so good. Boogered Up, the whole ordeal of that situation was the fact that some people may lose people, whether it's from other things or whether it's from just moving away. But in general, if you're listening to the Boogered Up podcast, we want you to not have any sort of filter with yourself at all. We want you to be able to talk as if you have known these guys forever and you can tell them anything and everything that you want. And so that's what we do when we sit down here. And even though we have a mic in front of our mouth, we're still talking to each other and bullshitting around. We're talking about stuff that's going on in the world right now, just so we can hit other people as well, so they don't, they can interact. But we're talking craziness all the way from sex, all the way from, drugs, all the way from comedy, all the way from pop culture stuff that's going on right now, making jokes about stuff that we shouldn't, just because at times with your friends you did. And like, for example, when the Titanic happened, we had to get a little crazy with that one. And our thought processes that happen with that, what can it go from? And this isn't a thing of sitting there and you're like, okay, you're watching these people, because we ain't shit. Boogered Up is just a mix between sometimes 3, 4, 5, sometimes maybe even 6 dudes that are just from a small town that just grew up. Some of us, all of our whole lives. Our tech guy I met 3, 4 years ago, but I know him as if I've known him forever in my life. And that's why everybody that should be watching and listening to the Boogered Up podcast, you should feel as if you're sitting in a room with your best friends, talking the bullshit, getting together, having the best of laughs, doing the dumbest shit, and recapping the best times, whether it's from the weekend prior or from 5 years ago when that crazy shit happened. And to make you feel welcome, and jokes against you and jokes with you, to laugh at the whole thing. Because if you don't got laughter in this world, man, you're living in a really rough place, and you need that opening in your life.
Travis, I have to say, man, that was so beautiful. And I don't mean that in a cheesy or cliche way. Like, that was truly beautiful. That was really just a just pure, honest passion that you're displaying, talking about your show and your friends. And like, I felt it. Like, I have like 3 best friends from high school, and I'm the one that moved away. They all live up near you. They live up in Northeast Ohio, and we now all have grown up jobs and families, and it's very hard to get together. But what we do have is we try to make it a point and get together once a quarter and get together. We rotate who hosts, and we just play cards and have drinks and just BS and talk about, the good old days. Like you said, make jokes that we don't leak, tell each other. And that is a really, really special bond. So, I appreciate you sharing that with us. It's awesome.
It's great too, because especially whenever you can test your friends, there ain't nothing better than sitting in a room and you go to say some buck wild shit and you wait for the responses, whether it's wild or whether it's comforting on that one, and you're
Right.
just like, who am I gonna get? Who am I gonna get here? And it's that. And the quarter thing is awesome for you. I love that, because when you have friends that you know that you distance, because I was just talking about this with my wife. My best friend from the military, from the Air Force, he just came into town. He's here for a month. And so I've already seen him once. I went golfing with him. I saw him for the 4th of July because we always had this thing. I stopped watching fireworks when he wasn't here. But every time he was here, I was watching fireworks with him. It's been like we went like 4 years straight watching fireworks at his at our friend's house. And so I didn't watch him for the last couple of years. So I was like, it didn't feel right. And he came in. So I was able to watch the fireworks with him this year. It was super sick. I went golfing with him. We didn't shoot the best, but we had a great time. And he's actually coming over. Today's Friday. He's coming over tomorrow. I'm trying to get a little get together so you can see the rest of the crew and a good amount of people. But I was talking about it, and a lot of people that I grew up with, we distanced ourselves because there was a lot of stuff. People got kids. I distanced myself working for the post office. I took my job way too seriously. I stopped going to shows. I stopped doing all this shit because I wanted to focus on my adult life, and that took away from treasuring moments that I could have, and where I would lead myself now. But that's where that leads to, is the podcast being that spot. Even if you've fallen for those victims in life, you get that vibe, you get that good, I don't give a fuck energy. I'm going to do and say what I want. And I know my guys over here are going to be cool with it. And we're going to have the best fucking time. We're going to drink some beers and we're going to get stupid. And that's what the Bengals and Brews. That's why I love joining you guys. As I love joining you guys every time you guys invite me on. Every time I'm able to slide in with a link if I have the availability. That's when I was on the co-host here. It's because when I got on here and a guest, and then out of nowhere, a fucking goddamn, who was it? It was Shane Graham, wasn't it? Was it Shane Graham?
Yeah, it was Shane. Yep.
I get on, they're like,
no, it was Clark Harris. It was Clark Harris, our very first player.
I tried to promote my fucking podcast, and Clark Harris comes on, and I'm like, well, we're having a goddamn good time, aren't we?
Yeah.
And just
3.5 hours later,
I backtracked. I listened to a couple episodes. You guys had D'Angelo Hawkins on, and it was super fucking sick to see that. And so I was like, yo, these guys are rock. These guys are Bengals. These guys are beers. I love it. Tried to scout a good Bengals podcast I wanted to be on because I wanted to talk Bengals. And as soon as I got in here, I got the vibes from you guys. I was like, these guys are fucking sick. It was just me, Dale, Derek, and Clark. And now you guys have grown to this opening to where, Pork's in this bitch. And Joe, you're even in here now. And then just you guys have always had that same atmosphere. And you guys are talking about one thing that everybody's watching right now and watches in the past is Bengals. And everybody loves the Bengals. But they can always find that also friendship, and that even though it's all – because the difference between this show and all the other shows that involve with the Bengals is the fact that you can talk Bengals all you want. You can talk facts and you can talk numbers and you can do all this stuff. And after a while, it's repetitive after all these podcasts. But when you listen to the Bengals and Brews podcast, you're sitting with your friends, and at any moment, things can go south. It can go wild. It can get crazy.
Yeah, right.
Ridiculous. And that's the part that I truly believe that you guys, and I've said it from the beginning, and I say it now, you guys have that thing that can still ride, and fuck the monetization. Fuck all of that. Who gives a fuck about any
That's
money?
what I said. We're just on here hanging out, bullshitting, man, talking Bengals with my friends.
Nothing
I'm about
better
to cry right now because not because of Travis, but I'm done betting the over on the Reds.
Fuck?
Oh, Derek, you don't
God
be gambling
damn.
it. We're having a good, touching conversation. Travis is giving us kudos, and you're talking about your bad gambling.
I'm over here
habit.
crying and tearing up, and Travis is like, "Man, I'm really getting to this guy."
So whoever had the under on Derek going with the betting by what?
That's so
Before
funny.
an hour and a half. we
Derek's
just won.
like, man, this shit's
Fucking idiot. He's like, I lost, bud.
I couldn't get another run, man. God.
I hear you talking, getting all emotional about hanging out with your friends and shit like that. But man, I ain't taking a fucking over anymore.
Fuck you, Derek. I love you.
Hey, I had to kind of lighten the mood a little bit. It was getting a little heavy there, and I was getting a little teary eyed.
No, but the one thing that's
Travis.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate that. And Dale, of course, isn't on tonight, but he's been the cornerstone of this show and setting that vibe and
absolutely
and keeping me grounded in what this show's about. And it's what you talked about as far as like, hey, not taking my career too seriously, and making sure I nourish my needs as far as socialization and with my friends, and like that is just about trying to keep yourself happy and keeping your own mental health. And mental health has been really important to me lately in some stuff I've been going through, and I have really neglected and underappreciated that part of like, hey, I need to take care of my needs in order for me to take care of those close to me as well. Like, you have to take care of those needs. It's not just fucking around, it is take caring of yourself. And everyone has some level of need of socialization and bonding that just makes you a well-rounded human being. So I know I'm getting mushy again, but no, I really appreciate you saying all those
no,
things.
it's serious, man. If anybody that's a content creator, when it comes to that, your mental aspect and the way that you deliver this shit, and it's like I can't believe, and I haven't been here for a while, so I don't know if Dale's hitting the wall or whatever's happened in that situation. I can't believe Dale hasn't hit the goddamn wall yet, because Dale hit that shit just as hard as I hit it, because I was on it nonstop. And as I realized to myself, I was like, I don't even know who I am anymore, because I'm just a product. I'm not myself. And I mean, Dale, kudos to Dale. That's why, and that's like, and I love doing this on my own podcast. So hopefully you guys don't pulling the curtain back a little bit. So me and Dale fought all the fucking time.
Oh yeah,
Dale fought all the goddamn time.
You're the same person.
There is no
screaming at each other about what we should do on the show and a giveaway, how we should do it, and this and that. He had this way, I had this way, and we'd go at it. We would fight all the time, dude. And that's not why I left by any means. It was just me getting way too busy, had to distance off, and all this other stuff that went with it. But that man is a workhorse when it comes to this show, and when it comes to the Bengals. And this was like, if anybody needs to get any respect out of this, besides Derek lighting his cigar again, it's Dale putting in the effort in this, and you guys keeping this grind up. And as you guys say, I just saw you guys post 5-6 times a week. You guys be putting on the work. You guys always go live, and I love the fact that you guys' fans interact as much as they do, because it really, truly, you guys have a nice, and it's awesome. I love what you guys have going on.
Thank you, Travis.
Derek, I love you, but damn, talk smoother sometimes, motherfucker. You were talking earlier, and I almost wanted to make fun of you again, like back in the day, and I didn't.
Listen, what's the thing? Listen, it's what was?
That's why
I think it was.
Like, I was starting to say something, and then I got a little sidetracked, and that's my ADD kicking in.
Oh,
and I'm like, I just knew Travis was about to say something about it, and that's exactly you started cutting in. I'm like, hey, I know exactly what you're about to say right now, and I get it.
Dude,
I get it.
I saw the one time you looked at the cameras, you were talking, and I was like, he knows that I'm here. He knows that it's gonna get to a point where it's like, tut 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 die.
I know.
Oh God, I love you guys.
Oh, dude, no, it's tight what you guys have, and I appreciate you asking that question, because there's a lot of times I've been on a couple other podcasts, and I could talk a little bit about it, but I know here it's a home front where it's you guys have those moments where you fuck you, Derek, doc.
No, I'm just sorry.
What?
I think it's an
joke.
That's a Bengals and Brews thing. That's a Bengals and Brews thing for sure. No, it's the opportunity to talk in this way, because in this show I've seen a lot of I remember what show was it? Was Shane. I came in and they were crying about their fathers, and I was like, oh, this is a really odd time for me to be here right now. Yeah. But I mean, there's been tears on this show, laughter, drinks, everything else. And that's why I was like, you guys have the same vibe. As well, you asked a question about Boogered Up, but Boogered Up in the same sense when it comes to Bengals work is literally Bengals and Brews. Or Boogered Up and Bengals work is Bengals and Brews.
Yep.
And so
I know what you're talking about now, Crypt. I accidentally put I don't remember how it happened.
Oh, I remember.
I put up the back. I was looking for like a different background, like a virtual background, and I just put this picture of just this big set of tits behind me.
Can you do it again? Can you do it again?
Remember how I did it?
Whose were they? Whose were they? That's the better question. Who were they?
They weren't my wife. Oh, it's one of the here. It's one of the just like the stock ones on StreamYard.
It's not stock, man. Get with me after the show, Joe.
I didn't matter.
You're not stock.
I don't think they stocked
Pork
that.
chop added them.
Hey, why
Those
don't you
are-
move your chair a little bit?
Chop added them.
She is not going to be a friend of the show for long.
Oh no!
You added that?
Yeah, it's like off the thing one night, messing with everybody after we ended the podcast.
Travis is like, oh my
That's
god!
how it got up there. I was just like, where did this come from? I didn't even mean to click on it. Well, I probably did mean to click on it, but I didn't think it would set it yet until I like clicked OK. But then it added it. I was like, oh shit, there's some titties.
Yeah, check your text.
All right, this has been Bengals and Brews.
Oh my
We
god!
always go like 45 seconds too long. Oh man!
Oh shit!
Oh god. All right.
So this is
I just text Joe who that
Oh
was.
my god, I did not know that. That's amazing.
Dude, I need this.
All right.
I need this after show so bad. I need this
Yep.
after show.
Hey, this has
This
been
has
an
been-
episode of Bengals and Brews. We appreciate everybody for tuning in live, hanging out. You know, there's a lot going on tonight, so everybody that has been faithful.
Joe's
viewers,
so
we
fucking
appreciate you guys.
uncomfortable. I'm so sorry. Joe is so uncomfortable right now. Oh my god.
Who they, baby? Let's go! It's time! Cincinnati, we gon' rise and up. In the jungle, we unite and up. Trippin' orange and black and white. Full day when we fight. Live and die in these stripes. Now who got 'em, who rockin' on? Now who wanna move crossing on? Now who wanna move out on? If you got stripes, then you let the city know you rock 'em. Yeah, we got 'em. Yeah, we fought 'em. Like that black and orange, I fought 'em.